I knew my nose was broken because I could feel my eyes swelling up a little bit.
So you didn't, but you didn't actually feel the punch. You just
I didn't
felt
actually
the swelling
feel it.
of like.
I felt the swelling and I felt the blood like just going into my throat.
Yeah.
And I went and sat on the corner and like I coughed and I could see the blood.
All the blood coming out.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, my nose is broken.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The Lebbie Podcast, best podcast in the area, no cap.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Lebbie Podcast, the best podcast in the area.
That's right, brother.
How's your weekend?
Pretty good, not bad. How was yours?
Yeah, it was all right. What about that Canelo fight, man?
That was crazy,
Yeah?
No, I predicted
You're the
it.
one that predicted
I
it.
told you before that fight.
This
I'm
bloke was like,
Yeah.
before the fight, we were watching the fight, and before the fight, he's like, I reckon, I was saying Canelo wins, but I thought it was going to be a decision. This guy's like, Canelo, 8th round. He literally said
I
8th
said
round.
8th round uppercut. I was
8th
like,
round, and you said uppercut.
Yeah, I was like,
Bro,
because
oh
the
my
guy,
God.
bro, the guy's just on another fucking level, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, I've never seen a boxer that just doesn't get solid contact against like that.
100%.
Like, I hardly
His
see
head
people
movement
land
and-
a solid contact punch
I
against
would say
It's
he's
crazy.
up there as one of the best defensive boxers. And man, Mayweather's good, but the way Canelo's been,
But if he fought him in his prime, I reckon.
yeah. There's a big argument for the fact that Canelo.
But then again, Mayweather was
too young,
36, so I don't know. Like,
Mayweather was old as well, so I don't know, man. Mayweather's got Logan Paul now, so I don't know. He's got his
Fuck,
own
that's
world
a
of
tough
problems.
challenge.
Bro. He's
Nah.
got his own world of problems, man.
Yeah.
What about that press conference, man? That was
fucking weird, eh?
That was weird.
Got your hat?
Gotcha.
that was
Can I take your hat right now?
Fuck off. No, that was fucking weird.
Nah,
Nah,
it was
it's
weird
weird
interesting.
seeing a fucking YouTuber go against.
But I feel like that's the power of social media these days. Like you see,
100%.
people are saying, "Oh, this guy's only been boxing for 3 years, Logan Paul," and that. But then, if you look at his, as they call it, clout, his amount of clout and the amount of like followers he's bringing and the amount of attention he's bringing to boxing, I think it's pretty good. You know, and
100%.
I think he earned that. He didn't earn the shot because of his skill, but like,
Nah,
if
fuck
you
no,
if
he
you're
was
able
lost.
to like sell a lot of tickets for a fight like that against possibly, well, I reckon the greatest boxer ever, then you know
you got to
it's-
respect that. Like
You got to
he's-
respect
he's
that. You
getting in there
got to
with
respect
fucking
that grind.
Arguably the best.
But
fucking boxer.
yeah, his brother's a bit of a. You can say what you want about him, but
he's a bit of a dickhead.
he's a bit of a dickhead. That's the least to say.
Let's just say if he was from the area, he would have been.
It would have been a different story.
Fucking hell.
People like, oh, imagine someone from the area.
Bro, imagine doing that shit in the area. Like seriously, like
Imagine taking a Lebo's hat in the area. Imagine taking his
not
Gucci
even
hat.
Mayweather, let alone an average Lebo. If
If you take his hat, brother, you're not leaving.
this cunt could be running
He'll
bro, on the
kneecap
side.
you, bro. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But we got a very special guest today.
We got a different kind of.
We've got a different kind of guest. So mostly our guests lately have been TikTokers, basically because I'm a TikToker. So
Yeah, people saying, "Oh, you only get TikTok."
You only get TikTokers. But this time we've changed it up. We've got someone who's very big in the fight community and he's been
Completely
doing a lot.
opposite to a TikToker.
Completely opposite to a TikToker and what a TikToker portrays. This guy's a bad man, man. I'm scared if I say something wrong, you know, he'll
choke you
he'll
out
get
or
the
knock you out.
rear naked choke from side. Or I don't know, man. But yeah, we got a bit of a pre-intro for the boy. So he has competed professionally in MMA in the biggest promotion, the UFC, obviously. Been on the famous fight show, The Ultimate Fighter. He's behind the biggest MMA promotion in Australia. Some may call him the Dana White of Australia. I mean, I agree with that.
He could be.
He could be. He could be the next Dana White of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Suman Mokhtarian. Welcome, bro. How you been?
Bro,
Good. I liked your little intro, guys.
Man,
Thanks,
I
bro.
was watching you not long ago, and like to see you in person, man. It's honestly like it feels surreal. Like
It's weird for me to hear that, honestly.
that. It's like it seems like because I've seen you on the Ultimate Fighter. I've seen your fight. I've seen like a lot of things, and seeing you in person, it's just like we've met UFC fighters,
yeah,
and
we've met one.
we've met one. We've met Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know
yeah,
when he came
yeah,
to
yeah.
Australia? Like
Yeah,
we actually.
I was in the hotel that he was staying at.
Oh, seriously?
When Colby got that boomerang thrown at him by
Oh,
Verdum.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I met Masvidal then, and my brother trained with him in Thailand.
Oh,
before
right.
that
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Real nice guy, real cool
He's
guy.
he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, bro. Like they're a different level, but like all those guys, all those UFC guys, they're the same as all of us. You know, I'm just someone from the area, like you guys are
And
saying. You know, like
It feels weird to
someone
say
from
that.
down
It's crazy
the
to
road.
think,
Yeah,
bro.
it feels
Like-
weird
to say that.
It is.
He's from
Anyone
the
can do
area.
it.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. You know,
Man.
like I'm just a pretty good example. For
Yeah,
that,
man,
you
you're
know
a
what I
prime
mean?
example. Like people think that, oh, you know, you're from the area. It feels like it's a bubble. You can't leave it.
No,
It's
and
the area.
when you say UFC, people picture like Conor McGregor or like people from like that. You never picture a person from the area, like the average bloke from the area. You know,
Yeah.
it's just something.
100%.
It's
No,
just crazy to
you
think.
always picture like someone from America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like,
I don't know.
that's
It's a weird
the norm.
thing. It's a weird thing.
Yeah,
But
but then
it's,
you
it's the guys that want to stay in the area.
yeah.
They want to be from the area.
It's
they
like
wanna
a bubble,
stay
you
there.
can't fucking
They're like,
leave
no,
it.
No, I can't leave the area. Can't leave Maryland. Can't leave Gilbert.
And even if you leave the area, you're still known from the area.
that's
It's like
it.
It's
known as
different,
from
man.
the
It's
area.
different. And so what I wanted to touch on first was like let's take it from the top, okay? You obviously grew up in the area. You didn't always have sunshine and rainbows growing up. Obviously, you had your troubles, and I think that's what shaped you to who you are today. So do you want to touch on that a bit on growing up, obviously, from the area and how
Some
you sort
early
of
life stuff. Yeah.
some early
Yeah.
life stuff and how you
So-
sort of shaped.
I've been in like the Parramatta, Maryland's like area since I was maybe 9-10 years old. Before that, I was in like the right areas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've kind of made my way around different type of Lebos and different type of Arabs
Yeah,
in the area. But yeah, I grew up in the area, and like I grew up pretty like normal. I grew up in Dundas, I would say, for majority of like my childhood, which is just near Parramatta, and I grew up pretty normal. But as you guys know, like things in life like change. You know, you get a little bit older, and you start to realize the headaches of life. Being a young kid, like my home life was always really, really good, and I used to think that it was really, really good until I started to grow up a little bit and see more of what life actually is. You know, when you're 8-9 years old, you don't hear about your parents kind of having those like struggles with bills and this and that, or even gambling, drugs and things like that. So when you start getting to that age of like high school, 13, 14, 15, you start to hear a little bit more, and you know the like cracks in the wall start to show, you know. So
100%.
I was maybe 14 probably when my parents got divorced, and my parents got divorced.
That's always, I feel like that's always tough. That's always a big, like some people these days it's very common. Divorce is very common. But I feel like that is a big contributor to like obviously mental health and just trauma with young kids, especially when you're at that age, 14, 15, like your peak. You're getting into your teenage years, and suddenly mum and dad are not together.
That's right. I
it's a lot to take in.
I use that as my excuse to be angry at everyone and angry
Yeah.
at the world, as most kids
As
do.
you do, yeah, as
you
you
know,
do.
but I was 14 when like my parents got divorced. My mom had left, and we were with my dad. And at the time, you know, my dad was going through a rough stage. My dad had a very successful company, and made bad investments, bad choices, and then obviously fell into a downward spiral with gambling and drugs and stuff like that. And it was pretty toxic for me for a long time, because for like 2 or 3 years, like it's your dad at the end of the day. So as much as you try and help him, you're still a child. There's not really a lot that you can do as a kid. And when you try and you realize someone is not changing, it gets a little bit harder. So then by the time I was maybe 17 or 18, obviously my dad was falling in debt. My mum wasn't around at the time, so it was me, my brother, and my dad. My brother was going through his own shit at the time.
So
he
this
had
is
left.
your older brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had left as well,
Yep.
and then it was just me and my dad for a long while. So I seen some. Let's say I seen some fucked up shit, but like I seen some things that like kids shouldn't see it like at a young age, and it just put me in this bubble on my own. Like I didn't want to I didn't want to converse with better people, because I felt like the way my dad's life was going and how everything was going, I was in this little bubble of like, I'm not going to be anything either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was drowned out, and being around other guys from the area as well, they don't encourage you to do the best things sometimes. So I just started falling into the wrong crowd, because that's what I started thinking life was.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I mean?
obviously your dad is a big part of your life, and he's your role model, man.
Yeah,
Like everyone's
he
first
was.
role model is your dad.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you see your dad, obviously, sometimes he can't help it if he's going through some tough shit, man. Some people resort to certain things as an outlet. And
Yeah.
your dad, obviously, some of his outlets were negative things
Yeah.
that you saw, you constantly
That's
saw.
a lot to do with at
And
that
it's a lot to
age.
do with, and
You
that's all
shouldn't.
you knew. So
Yeah.
you probably saw your mates, and you're like, okay, if they're doing that shit, if my dad's doing that shit, then
Yeah,
there's no more to life.
That's what I
Pretty
thought
much.
for ages, because
Yeah.
like even my brother, like he was into a lot of crime, and like stupid crime. my brother would literally come and he would steal a car, park it in front of our house. You know, like he didn't give a fuck. Like it's stupid, and it wasn't like a good example for him to say. He started getting into drugs and stuff like that. Like literally everyone around me at that time, was in that world in some way. Either they were using drugs or they were selling drugs. You know, and it wasn't until my brother got a wake up call that he kind of slapped me into place and kind of got me following his path and fighting. I was always a fan of the sport, but I was a kid who, just like you guys were saying, would watch it on TV and be like, fuck, that'd be real cool, eh?
Honestly, man.
But it was
crazy.
It was watching guys and thinking, this isn't real. You know, like I'd never even heard of an MMA gym at that stage. So
what?
I didn't even know
so
how
this
to get out.
was this like, if you don't mind me asking, was this like a long time ago or?
Me,
yeah, like
with
you
drugs
watching,
and stuff like
you
that?
know, you watching like the UFC, obviously.
I think my first taste of like watching the UFC would have been when I was about 16 or 17. I watched the first Ultimate Fighter.
Okay, that was the first.
The first thing I ever watched was the Ultimate Fighter, and like I didn't even know it was a real sport.
Wow.
You know, like I legit didn't know
Crazy,
that it was
man.
a real sport or anything like that. And then one day, like my brother had moved back home with me and my dad.
Yeah.
And when he'd moved back home, my brother was high and he was watching. Like there was a local fight show going on. And it was on TV, so we're seeing all these Aussies and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, they're fighting in a cage. Like these guys are from Australia. Like this is nuts.
Wow.
Like, and this was ages ago.
Yeah.
We don't even have anything like that right now being shown on TV, like the locals.
I mean,
So back then, I saw a little glimpse of it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty fucking cool. But my brother was like, oh, I can do this. And me being the smart ass that I was, I'm like, oh, shut up, you stoner. You're not going to do nothing. Yeah, so, like, me,
That's crazy.
Me egging him on is
yeah.
what started him. And then when he started, I was like, oh, you know what? Like, maybe I can give it a go too. Maybe I can try it. If he can do it, I can do it. And it's the same as that. Like, I saw my older brother do it. Like, not even fight. I saw him just training. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can do it. So hopefully someone else watches me, does the exact same thing. Because everything is like a product of who you put yourself around or what you're
100%.
watching.
That's exactly right.
So I realized when I was hanging out with the wrong people, hanging out with all these idiots and doing all this stupid shit, that I was becoming like them.
So, sorry, just not to cut you off, but just to track back, you said your brother had a wake up call from, obviously, doing drugs and, you know, as you said, stupid shit.
Yeah.
What do you mind me asking?
No.
Like that wake up call, is it because they always tell you when you get into drugs and stuff, there's two ways out. You're either dead or you're in jail.
He ended up in jail.
He ended up in jail.
ended
Okay,
up
so
in
that
jail,
was his
yeah.
wake up call.
Oh, it wasn't really his wake up call. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Jail isn't so much your wake up call. Jail sometimes is worse because you go into jail. A friend of mine said, one of the fighters at our gym said this because he recently got out of jail maybe like 8-9 months ago.
Yeah.
And he said the first time going to jail is so hard. He goes, every time you get out of jail after that, the door opens
easier.
up bigger and bigger and bigger. It's so much easier for you to go to jail.
Right.
So when sometimes you end up in the system, you end up thinking, like you learn a lot more about crime. You're around criminals all day. So the same thing.
100%.
So you're learning about how to sell drugs, how to manufacture drugs, how to do this, how to do that.
Because you're in there with criminals.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like the school of criminals.
Yeah, jail is not a place of rehabilitation. It is actually a place that will make you worse. And my brother coming out of jail, he actually got worse, you know. But he had a relationship that broke down. He was getting a little bit older in life, and he was just sitting at home and being a stoner. You know what I mean? He wasn't even into any hard drugs or anything like that. But like, I think like I don't have a problem with people that smoke weed. I smoke weed as well. But I think too much of anything is no good.
Obviously, yeah, within
reason, you know.
Yeah.
So he ended up saying, "I've got no job. You know, my dad's life has gone to shit. I'm a shit role model to my brother. I've got nothing going for me. I don't even have a girlfriend right now."
Wow.
Like,
how old was he at the time?
He would have been 24, 25 at the time.
Which is like the
Which
years,
is like when
your
you
main
start to
years.
realize.
Yeah.
You started. You're at 24. You're either going out, you're partying with your mates, you're a marquee, you're fucking getting.
Yeah, there's two ways, man.
fucking around.
Or you're in a garage. You know, one of your mates
Doing a
garages.
podcast.
Or punching cones.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
true.
mean? So but you look at yourself. Do you wanna live a better life? Do you wanna wear nicer clothes? Do you wanna do this, or do you wanna, like I said, still stay in that same garage punching cones with your mate, where you're sitting around a little heater this big, like trying to warm yourselves up? It's not a good lifestyle. And I think that was his wake up call, like seeing the never ending routine of just get a stick, smoke it with your mates, see when you're gonna get on.
I mean, after
again.
time, it's got to be just repetitive. It's
Yeah,
got to
it
be
is.
just like,
It is.
what
So
am
if
I
you're gonna
doing?
repeat something good.
Yeah, exactly.
And he saw it on TV just like I did, and I was more of a fan than he was. But he was the one who was like, no, you know what? I can
He
do
took that first step.
Yeah. You know
It's always
what?
that. It's like
I'll
the big
give him
brother
that.
takes the first step,
Yeah.
and then the little brother follows.
That's right. I
It's
just
just how
followed
it is,
him, and then
yeah.
I fell out of it because he got addicted to it. Once he started, and that got him off drugs and stuff like that. And my brother's normal. Like,
Yeah.
he's as normal as anyone comes. Like, he'll keep fucking up. And
Yeah.
he's a drug addict till the day he dies. I say it. Like, if he smokes weed, he'll start smoking weed again. If he does anything wrong, and he has, I wouldn't say relapsed so many times in his career, but there's so many highs and lows in this sport that, like, the lows are lower than any low.
The
that
lows
you've
are really
ever-
low. Yeah.
Really low. The lows are way lower than the highs.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Alright.
And there's more lows than there are highs. That high that you get is for a couple minutes. It's when you get
After
your
a
hand
win.
raised and
Yeah.
a few people pat you on the back and like give you messages. Like
Yeah.
when I won fights, I've gotten messages for like the next week and felt like the man. When I've lost fights, it's been like a year and a bit since my last loss, and I'm still getting messages of abuse and hate. I'm still getting people.
Wow.
I'm still getting people messaging me saying,
the
"You fucking dickhead! I put money on you."
Are you kidding me?
yeah, I get that.
Like,
Oh,
what
because
the
you're the
fuck?
fighter. Because they put money on you, and then when you lose, it's like they're blaming you. But
I'm
it's like
like,
you got to probably gambling.
It's your
remember-
fucking money. Your
It's your money.
responsibility.
Yeah, but that was how we started. My brother took that first step and
Yeah.
put us into this like sport, I
Yeah.
guess, because
Yeah.
I was always athletic. I was always sporty. I always liked sports, and then
So
when
what was
you got
it?
that realization that
Yeah.
we could do it, we just started doing it.
So did you
more
join
and
a
more and
gym?
more.
Like, was it just?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we joined up. First gym we went to was in Granville.
Oh, okay.
It was called Elite Fight Gym.
Elite
And
Fight
it
Gym.
was owned by Tama Tahuna, and
Yeah.
his brother was James Tahuna as well. Like James Tahuna was like one of our main first UFC fighters. Like we had UFC fighters
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
but he was like one of the ones that like everyone from the area backed. He was
Okay,
from
yeah.
Penrith, but like all the Islanders, everyone, they all backed
all
him.
come-
You know,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
he started bringing a lot of attention to the sport when he was getting signed to the UFC.
Right.
We went to their gym, and when we went to their gym, there was so many guys, intimidating guys.
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
like you know, they were walking around, shirts off, staring at everyone coming into the
Yeah.
gym. And we're like, fuck, this place pretty intense, eh? Like,
Yeah.
but like, you know, no one's too friendly. Yeah, just
Yeah,
let them
yeah,
fight.
just let them fight.
But
It's always the case.
But that's not where we ended up. We went there, and when we went there, there was another gym upstairs from there, and it was a jiu-jitsu gym. And the coach from that gym had walked down and just randomly started talking to my brother. And he goes, "Yeah, I own a studio upstairs." And my brother's like, "What's that for? Isn't this the fight gym?"
Yeah.
And he like tapped my brother on the back, and he goes, "Yeah, this is a fight gym." He goes, "But if you want to learn the art, you got to come to jiu-jitsu. You know, you gotta work your way from the ground up." And that was like a really good thing for my brother, because he was someone who didn't know how to listen to anyone, didn't have any discipline, and
Jiu-jitsu sort of like
Jiu-jitsu
humbles
is
you.
all
Yeah.
about like self-discipline and, you know, putting your ego aside. I remember the first day he went in there, my brother was like 80 kilos at this time, jacked,
Yeah.
right? And he went in, I think he went against like a little 60-kilo guy, got him in a gi choke, put him straight to sleep.
On his first
Yeah,
go.
on his first go.
That's rare.
First person that went to roll with him, put him in a gi choke, and my brother didn't know to tap, or he was thinking, "Fuck this, I'm not tapping to this little."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I
Tried
know
to hold
exactly.
out for a bit too long, and then woke up with the rest of the class like splashing water
No
on him.
way. So he got choked out.
Joe got choked out and embarrassed, and I thought, "Oh, he's not gonna come back. He's not gonna come back." And then that night he went home, and I remember he was shattered. He was so like.
I remember
he felt
you
so
first time-
belittled.
Yeah.
He goes,
Same thing.
He goes, "I just felt weak." He goes, "I do all these weights, I do this, I do that, I punch on." You know,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
You think you're like tough, you know?
Bro,
Yeah.
I've done heaps
done the
of
street
sport. I've done a bit of boxing, a bit of everything. There's no other feeling than when you join jiu-jitsu. It's just a different thing completely.
Yeah.
Like if you have a son or you want to discipline him, put him in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
Because-
it's different to the other arts.
100%,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because it's real contact. as much as everyone's like, oh, I don't want to look like I'm humping a guy on the floor or this. Or
Yeah,
that.
it did look weird at first.
It does look weird at first.
Yeah.
It looks weird until you're the one tapping and you're like, fuck,
Exactly.
get this
Yeah,
cunt off me,
100%.
Until you realize the power of it, you don't gravitate towards it. You know, when my brother realized, fuck, if this little 60-kilo guy can do this to me, you know, imagine what I could do to people if I get as good. So he just became night and day. Like literally morning he'll do classes, nighttime he'll come back and do classes. For like the first 6 months, every day, 2 days, 2 times a day, he would train. He would train a lot more than me. Like he was very, very dedicated. Because
he got tapped that first time.
But he's an addict.
But is that a good thing?
Addict,
yes. He's got an addictive personality.
He's got an addictive personality.
That's right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So he took that addictive personality and channeled it into something better.
good.
You know, for the first time in his life.
So maybe having an addictive personality obviously can be bad, but it can be very good as well.
It can be very good. You just gotta
100%.
find what
If you find exercise,
Like
if you
people
get
say,
addicted to running,
this guy's a junkie, fuck him, leave him, or he's addicted to something. No, you use that
addictive
You
personality
know, you know,
to
like
something good.
more than like I reckon 60-70% of the guys that come into my gym, they're junkies in some way or another. I call them more junkies, because you have to be some type of junkie to want to come and get punched
It's
in
funny
the face.
because there's like I feel like there's like a
It's
correlation.
a different quality.
There's like a correlation with jiu-jitsu and weed.
No, there is.
I feel like everyone's
like fucking
really
Joe
good at
Rogan,
jiu-jitsu.
Eddie
Like Joe
Bravo,
Rogan,
all those
Eddie Bravo,
kind of
all those
I
guys.
don't know if it's what they put into our head.
I don't know,
but
man.
Like I tried it. Like so, I was like, all right, I'm gonna have a smoke. I'm gonna go and roll. You know?
Yeah, okay,
And-
all right.
And I was
Far
like, all right,
out.
let's see what this is like. You know? So I remember me and like 2 other guys from my gym. We closed the gym out one night and we smoked. And we're like, all right, listen, we're not gonna put the timer on. We're just gonna fucking roll. Next thing you know, we're rolling for like an hour straight. Didn't think about cardio. Didn't think about strength. Didn't think about nothing. It relaxes your body in a way where you can just keep working, and like it's good for the brain. I feel like to relax it for like something like jiu-jitsu, and it kind of opens you up a bit because you start to think outside the box.
Yeah.
But in saying that, too much of anything is not
100%.
good. You know what I mean?
Everything
Like,
in moderation. Moderation.
yeah, if you're smoking, like I know some of my guys, they'll smoke before training because they've had a hard week. They want to just come in. They want to do a bit of a light session. They train like, I'm like, yeah, cool, bro. Like, do your thing, you know. But then it becomes a problem when I'm like, oh, they come to the gym. I'm like, are you high? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, bro, how long have you been smoking since? Like, oh, since I woke up. I'm like, fuck. No. I'm like, that's not what you're meant to be doing. I'm a coach, but I'm young at the same time. So like,
you weren't born yesterday. Like, you know what I mean?
I know what it's like for these guys. I know that they need to have that little bit of an outlet, and if smoking a little bit of weed is the outlet, fine. Just don't smoke ice and come to train.
Nah, brother, you have the strength of 10
That's
men.
a different level.
Your cardio will never
You can't,
end. Yeah, so we started up at that jiu-jitsu gym. It was Gracie Baja Granville, and then the gym got burnt down.
What?
Because they didn't
Insurance
pay.
job?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No. Heavies from the area.
Heavies from
Legit,
the area.
heavies
Oh,
from the
okay.
area.
Yeah, that's another topic in itself.
Okay, no.
Heavies from the
Protection
area,
money.
They got kicked out of the gym.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
And then they started calling up and saying, "Oh, you gotta pay up now that you're in the
gotta pay
area."
up. Yeah.
And the guy that owned the gym was a Brazilian dude. It's like, "Pay up? What do you mean? Like, fuck off."
Piss off, yeah.
You know what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
So what they did
Oh,
was
heavies.
they did a drive-by in his gym one night, but with like a pellet. Like a metal pellet gun, and they fucking shot him. Like they got him in the head, everything.
With the pellet gun?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And then the police got called. Everything. They came down, and the gym owner didn't want to like say names. You know, he knew the guy there. He was like, "Oh, listen, like I don't want to."
He didn't want to snitch.
Yeah, he didn't want to snitch.
didn't wanna
Like,
snitch.
he had that bit of like, you know.
He had those morals.
He's on the hood. You know, he
Yeah.
didn't want to snitch. He didn't want to snitch, but they didn't snitch, and his gym got burned down.
Fuck. So imagine if he did
Fucking
snitch.
If he did,
He would have burnt down.
He would have been burnt.
No more jiu-jitsu for you.
Yeah, they
Fucking
came
hell.
back and these guys fucking burnt the gym, and it made
And that you guys and the ones that were going there, that you guys copped it a lot.
yeah, we copped it. We were like, what the fuck did we?
What did we do, man?
Where the fuck do we go now?
Yeah, so when that happened, the gym owner was like, fuck this, fuck staying in Western Sydney. Like, this is why I say a lot of Lebos ruin it for everyone.
Trust me, we know. We're Lebos. We know.
We understand. Yeah.
I'd love to say it was Persians, but like Persians are pussies. So like it's
You're
like
Persian
that.
yourself.
Yeah. Like you know, it's a Lebo, it's a Turk, it's a Syrian, it's someone like
it's
that.
not a
like
Persian
Iraqi,
boy. Yeah.
It's not a Persian guy.
Not a
it's
Persian.
awesome.
Nah.
But Yeah, they came burnt down the gym, so the gym owner kind of shit himself and like was like, "Fuck this, I'm going to Queensland." I'm going to the
Fuck,
Gold
he
Coast."
fled the whole fucking
It's a
state.
long way away.
Wow.
He went to the Gold Coast, and then my brother's like, "Well, we don't have a gym," and like my brother only had 6 months experience of like just jiu-jitsu, nothing
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
So he's like, "Well, what am I gonna do?" Does what every hard cunt wants to do. I'm going to Thailand.
He went to Thailand. Fuck. That's the starter pack.
Every level, Muay Thai in Thailand.
He went to Thailand.
He went to Thailand.
He went to Thailand. While he was in Thailand, he was like, "Oh, I'm getting pretty good, eh?" And I'm
Yeah.
fuck, you're not getting good at nothing. He's like, "No, I'm learning how to kick. I'm learning how to kick." And then he had a Muay Thai fight in Thailand, and, and he won that. But he fought like, honestly, he fought like my uncle or some old taxi driver.
You fought your uncle?
Some
Yeah.
old,
No,
like some old fucking
Oh,
Thai
some
guy.
old guy. Yeah.
And he won, and then he's like, "Oh, get me an MMA fight." You know, I'm like, "All right." So I just jumped on the internet, got him an MMA fight, but
Wow.
we didn't even have a gym. I just found one on the internet.
Yeah.
We paid for our own flights, our own accommodation.
Oh,
We
wow.
got ripped. Like we thought we've got to pay for everything. Now I realize they pay for everything.
They
These
pay.
guys-
You just
this
got to
promotion.
freaking.
This guy got us good. He was like, "You got to pay to come there." You
What
gotta
a
do this."
fucking
Yeah.
dickhead.
Anyway, we went there. We fought. My brother won.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So impressed.
he won. No one thought he was gonna win. I didn't think he was gonna
He's
win.
an underdog.
He won.
He was an underdog, yeah.
I could hear myself like screaming. I wouldn't say he was an underdog, but he was meant to lose. Like,
Right.
I think,
Everything's going against him in that fight.
Well,
so.
look, when someone, I'm a promoter now. When someone that messages me and they're not with like a legit gym, I'm like, "Oh, this cunt trains out of a garage and thinks he can come and do what we do," you know.
Yeah.
And my brother was that person once upon a time. You know, now that I look back at it, my brother was that guy.
So he was fairly new in the sport.
heaps.
So he went to Thailand.
Wow.
And that was like
He did like 2 months of
2 months and then came back and had a fight. Fuck, man, what a beast.
And then and he won. And then after that, we were like, "Fuck, we're into this heavy." Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
it. We're the real deal.
we're gonna go back to the area. Everyone's gonna know we're fighting. I'm your brother. Doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna go with you. We came back to the area, and then like it was actually, you know what? It was on the flight on the way back. I go to my brother. "Oh, we should open up a gym." Oh no, he said to me, "We should open up a gym," and I go,
Out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere, and I go, "Open up a gym." I go, "You don't know anything. I don't know anything." He goes, "Oh, we don't have to get."
Just guys,
You get excited. That's what it is. You get excited.
Yeah,
You're
we'll get coaches, and they'll train us.
Yeah.
You know. So we went from like not having the gym to like, let's go get a gym.
yeah.
Let's go put these guys in. It could be a business as well, and you know we can get our own training. You know, because a lot of gyms we went to, we didn't feel comfortable. Like I wasn't really training. I'd go once or twice a week, or sometimes not at all.
Yeah.
And my brother would go from like gym to gym, and they'd look at him, and honestly, they would think that he's a Lebo. They would think he's just another Arab from the area. This guy thinks he's a hard cunt. He just wants to fight. But my brother genuinely loved it, you know. But like a lot of people wouldn't give him a go the first time he'd come in. So I was like, "Fuck this, let's do our own thing." Opened up our own gym with like literally no experience, like nothing. Like I did,
But how do you do that? Do you just like you found the place?
You found the place, found the name, painted the walls, bought some
That's
mats,
it. Went for it.
and then but we knew people obviously in the industry in this year that we've been there.
Yeah.
So our jiu-jitsu coach that went to Queensland knew obviously people in the area.
Yeah.
We've met people here and there, so we started asking around, can we get coaches like jiu-jitsu,
right.
because we were both white belts.
Yeah.
And we found like a brown belt jiu-jitsu coach who was a Brazilian guy who was real good. His name was Arthur. And then we found a kickboxing coach. His name was Joop. He was from Holland.
Yeah.
And we're like, man, if we just get these guys and like bring them in, they're good coaches. If we bring
Bit
them
of
in,
everything. Yeah.
we can start something here. You know, like they go to all these other gyms and their coaches aren't that great. You know, so if we get these better coaches here, we can start something at our gym. And we went for it, and we just got lucky. And the reason we got lucky in like building such a big gym was because we were such fans. We were so into it. It's like if you guys are gonna do podcasting, it's not like you're never gonna watch podcasts. You're gonna watch other ones, see what they do.
Of course, yeah.
And then
Get some
have your own
inspiration.
style.
Yeah.
So I was always watching fighting. I was always watching the UFC. I was watching this, and I'd get my own little inspirations. Oh, we needed.
Who was it? Who was the main ones that you sort of looked up to? And obviously, you don't try and copy your style, but you try and get some things and put it into your style, make your own style.
Yeah. Well, not fighter wise so much, but gym wise, I would always look at like a lot of the top gyms,
Right.
American top
team, yeah,
Brazil,
yeah.
and that's where we kind of stole our name from. And
Australian
yes,
top
we
team.
did-
Oh, okay. It's a bit
We
different.
did, you know, playing with that. We checked all the copyright. We're like, okay, can we use this
Can we use
name?
it? Yeah, yeah.
We went and used it, and we realized that like they don't actually have any control over the name American top team.
Oh, so you just changed it to Australian top team?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
we
it,
actually
yeah,
have
gym.
no link to them at all. Like
Oh,
we
okay.
just leached off their name.
Wow.
But
It works, man.
People
Yeah,
are like,
it
oh,
works. Australian top team, bro. It sounds
If
fucking...
I go train there, I can go and train.
I just
American
picture
top
Lebbie
team.
going, "Fuck, Australian top team, yo, let's fucking go.
Oh, let's go.
Nah, you know, the best one is, what'd you call it? Australian top team. You know, like, you're not even Australian. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to call
Persian
it?
top team?
I'm going to call it Iranian top team.
Iranian
you
top
know?
team?
It's
It doesn't
fucking-
feel right. It's just
Yeah,
No, it
well,
doesn't.
we copped the nickname heaps, Arab top team.
Oh, yeah.
Arab top,
Yeah, Arab top team.
Arab
team's
top
a-
team, yeah.
Arab top team's a name we've copped a lot. And at the start, it wasn't like a good thing. Like when they would say it, like they
Yeah.
meant it in a bad way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we kind of got used to it. Ran with the moniker Arab top team, and
Yeah.
then the results kind of showed for themselves. all the
Speak for
team.
themselves.
Everyone who was talking shit, you know, just fucking
Finally. Yeah.
yeah. They see we've done the Arab top team's done more for Australian MMA than the Australian.
Yeah, I know. And so okay, so you guys opened your own gym, and obviously you got all these coaches because you wanted to get different sort of inspiration and different knowledge on different skills. But then, how did it transition where you sort of, because you were talking about your brother, and obviously he went for that first step. When did you have your first sort of fight?
My
Your first big
fight,
step into like,
But my brother didn't want me to fight because he would say that I was too like lazy.
oh right, okay.
Yeah, he was
were you
like-
lazy though?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I was lazy, but I was talented. So like
Okay.
I would get away with a lot of things that like the normal person wouldn't, because I was always pretty athletic. I was a quick learner as well. So when I was learning quick and everything was kind of getting easy for me, I'd be like, oh, I'm alright.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But my brother was always the hard worker, and he said, until you start working hard, I'm not gonna let you fight. Like,
There's a
okay.
saying that says, hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard.
That's right.
Which is pretty
know,
much exactly what you
makes
just
sense,
said.
yeah.
Like,
So my brother was like big on that because it took my brother like maybe a couple months or 6 to 9 months of like
Yep.
solid hard training before he had his first fight.
yeah.
So he was like, "You're not ready at the moment," and I really
Yeah.
wasn't ready. Like, but me being me, I was like, "I want to fight."
Yeah,
I
I'm
wanna
ready,
fight.
man.
Yeah, I'm
Fuck it,
ready.
fuck it, yeah.
Give me anyone.
So my brother, when we opened up the gym, and we didn't know much, my brother was still going back and forth to Thailand. When we went
Right.
back and forth to Thailand, he would like buy us bags because they were cheaper in
Oh, okay.
Thailand, like the big
What?
Beartex. Like,
Oh,
kick
okay,
bag.
not those bags.
No.
Thailand.
Those bags in Thailand, they're not real bags.
They're not real bags.
They're not real bags.
They're not
They're
real
not
bags.
Western Sydney bags.
Different bags.
But yeah, we would
Yeah.
get like the big like kick bags and stuff like
Right,
that. We'd
okay.
bring it all from
Yeah.
Thailand because it was cheaper.
Mm.
And while he was over in Thailand once, a promoter had messaged and asked for my brother to fight on his show.
Right.
And when he did that, it was like the day of the show was the day my brother gets back from Thailand, so we couldn't
Okay.
do it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I can do it. I can fight at the same weight. And I said that to the promoter. He's like, oh, yeah? Like, sure. Like,
Okay.
promoter doesn't give a shit. Put
Yeah.
me in. I didn't tell my brother until like the week before the fight, until
Yeah.
he saw a poster. So I booked myself into a fight.
Yeah.
And I thought if I book myself into a fight, my brother can't really say no because it's too late. You
Yeah.
know, you don't want to look like a bitch and pull out.
No, you
So
got to go for it.
I
Just-
did that. I booked my first fight. I had like no idea, no experience, no nothing. And then my brother gets back and he was cursing me the whole way to the fight. He was
Seriously?
like- yeah, he was cursing. He was like, you want to do this behind my fucking back. Like,
No way.
yeah,
Look,
he was,
you
he
can
was
sort of
pi-
understand.
My brother was pissed about
Yeah.
it. But he got over it eventually. And I went into the fight and I had this fucking mentality like, I'm going to go
I'm
in
gonna
and-
smash this
because
guy.
honestly, I had a lot of fights when I was younger. From like the time I was like 14 till I had my first fight when I was 19.
So you did have experience, like
on the street.
street fighting. Yeah, well, this is completely different. Well, maybe UFC.
No, it's completely different. I
It's still
realized
completely
it's
different.
completely different.
Yeah.
Because I thought like, we're gonna have a punch on. This guy's the same size as me. I'm gonna fucking go in there.
Yeah,
and-
pretty much. I
I went
what's
in
to
there
go. Yeah,
and I had this mad mean mug on my face. My mum was in the crowd. I'm like, no one's gonna bash me. in
Oh,
front of
yeah.
my fucking mum. Let's
Mum's
go.
watching. You gotta, you gotta impress.
So I went out and I was like, I'm gonna fucking put a hole in this guy's face, and I'm like stancing up to him. Next thing I know, I'm like, oh shit,
Oh,
this guy's hitting me. Started hitting me. I'm like, fuck this. Just took him down. I
Yeah.
started fucking pounding
Just
out.
pounding
and,
into him.
I had better jiu-jitsu than him,
right.
and I started punching him on the floor. Ended up getting him in a triangle choke, and I put him to sleep.
Wow.
And I won in like a minute 12. But the first like 20 seconds of that was me getting punched in the face.
Wow.
And when I came out of that fight, I was thinking to myself, fuck, why'd I get hit? Like, that wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah,
But
you thought, because you had a different mentality in your head. You pictured something else. You pictured you going in and just punching this guy.
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
knocking
happen
him
like
out.
that. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen like that.
How
That's why I
does
went
it? How
to
does it
fight
feel?
too.
How does it feel to get? Oh well, there's probably no best way to describe it, but like getting punched in the face. All right, so
In a fight,
in a fight,
you don't feel it.
you don't feel it.
You do not
Yeah,
feel it.
too much
You
adrenaline,
don't
probably.
feel
Too
it.
much adrenaline.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I get so
Yeah.
much adrenaline. I've never felt pain in a fight.
Right.
Even getting, like, I've been hit.
Have you been
hard.
knocked out?
Never been knocked out. I've been
Okay.
dropped. I've been dropped twice in my life.
Yeah.
I got dropped once in the gym.
Yeah.
Maybe about like 4 or 5 years ago with one of our training partners. Fuck, got a good one on me.
Yeah.
And I got dropped in an amateur fight once, maybe about 7 years ago. Like, long
okay,
time
so-
ago. Like I would have been like 20 or 20. Yeah, I'd have been like 20.
Yeah.
Got dropped then. Haven't been dropped there since then, but I've been rocked a few times. And like
Yeah.
obviously in the fight that I had, my UFC debut, I got rocked pretty badly there,
Yeah.
but I didn't get dropped or anything. But even in that fight, everyone was like, "Oh, did his body shot?" Because he hit me to the body a few times.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
and-
that. He
and
did
To the
he
rib,
get a
the
rib.
ripped one, yeah.
Legit did
Didn't
not feel
feel it?
nothing. Nothing.
Wow.
Why is that? Is that
Like,
because of
even
the
I've-
pump, like the whole adrenaline, and you just like
Yeah, I think that you're ready for it. Do you
You're
know what I
ready,
mean?
yeah.
Like if me and you are standing next to each other and I slap your arm, you're like, hey, what are
It'll
you doing?
hurt. Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you're like pumping yourself, all right,
Let's go.
You're like, all right, that hurts a bit,
Yeah.
but you said when you're getting into a fight, you know, you both
You're-
know that
you're
you're about to
expecting
go.
it. Yeah.
And it's the punches that you don't see that hurt you.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
I mean? Like, it's the one that you don't see that really hurts you. I think a body shot, like a clean body shot, I don't care how tough you are, you're going to feel it. If it's a
Or like a
proper
liver-
body,
liver
yeah.
shot.
It's a liver
like
shot.
a
You
good
won't
liver shot, you're going to
Fuck
feel
that.
it. That's when
Yeah.
you'll feel some pain. But
Yeah.
honestly, like to the head, I've never really like felt pain. Like my last fight, my nose got shattered real bad in the second round.
Yeah.
And I just remember like feeling all this blood in my mouth, and like I knew my nose was broken because I could feel my eyes swelling up a little bit.
So you didn't, but you didn't actually feel the punch. You
I
just
didn't
felt
actually
the swelling
feel it.
of
Yeah,
like.
I felt the swelling and I felt the blood like just going into my throat.
Yeah.
And I went and sat on the corner and like I coughed and I could see the blood.
All the
like,
blood coming
come
out.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, my nose is broken.
Man, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like-
That's
But
how
you
you
don't
figure it
feel it.
out.
It's
No,
like
yeah.
even like Ben Ashkan, for example, like he fucking got knocked out badly, but probably
By
in the moment he probably
Al-Masvidal,
didn't
yeah.
really
A
feel it.
knockout is something you literally
You
don't
didn't
feel.
feel it probably, yeah.
I've been put to sleep.
Probably wake up. You're
Yeah,
like,
I've been
what the
put
hell
to
just
sleep a few times, and apparently it's the same. Like when you get knocked out, you just kind of wake up and you're like, "What the fuck is going
What
on?"
happened? Yeah.
You, like you got no idea.
Oh,
But
so
I've never been knocked
so
out
you
like
mean
that.
choked out? You've
Yeah,
been choked out.
It's, I think it's similar because guys, like you wake up and you feel like tingling over your whole body, like you feel
Yeah.
like you're floating.
Wow.
I like the feeling of getting choked to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
You know,
Should
but
we do it live on the podcast?
Yeah. But they say that getting knocked out is kind of similar, like because your brain shuts down and it wakes back up, and then like all your
Then you're
senses
just like,
start
wait,
coming
what's
back.
going on? Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really know what's happening, but I've never really felt pain in any of my fights.
Man, I mean,
I don't think most fighters
But leg
do.
kicks must.
Leg
Probably
kicks,
leg kicks
I think they start hurting
after the fight.
after the fight, yeah, but like you know those guys that are limping and you can see their legs getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I think that like it's continuous. The adrenaline's wearing off and their bodies are starting to feel it. I've never
Then
been
you
leg
start-
kicked too much in a fight.
So
Yeah.
you don't know.
I don't know about
right.
For
that
example,
one.
McGregor against Poirier, he fucked his leg.
Yeah,
up.
his leg
leg was
fucked
gone,
up.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
calf kicks are so different to
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
thigh kick though, because even in the gym, if I calf kick someone once or twice, sometimes I'll see them like they'll start stepping
Okay.
weird.
Yeah.
And because the muscle in your calf is so much smaller than your thigh,
Yeah.
it takes a
more
lot less.
sensitive,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's more sensitive, and you have a lot more nerves
Mm.
in like your shin and like down your calf. So when
Yeah.
that starts getting hit and the nerve starts dying, there's not a lot you can do to recover
Yeah,
from
it's
that.
fucked.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
What about the Ultimate Fighter? Let's talk about the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
So you obviously had it. So you had some fights
Mm.
before you got to the Ultimate Fighter, And how did that come about? Like, how did you just get contacted, or is it something that you applied for?
The UFC wanted to sign me.
Okay, right.
They had already like spoken to me a few times.
Yeah.
I was 5-0 as a professional. I'd never fought anyone tough or any. I just had like a couple fights on my pro record, and because my brother was in the UFC at the time, we had like other fighters going through the UFC as well.
Yeah.
They wanted to bring me in as well because for them
Yeah.
it's a story, it's entertainment. You know,
Mm.
I don't
100%,
think
yeah,
they
yeah.
even thought that I was the best fighter or anything. They legit wanted me to just come in and create more of a model of a story
Yep.
for them, and they were interested in that, and they knew that I had a bit of skill, so
Yeah.
that they knew I could go into the UFC. And they'd asked me to go and have an active, like they said, be active, go have a fight, and we'll sign you to the UFC.
Okay.
Because I hadn't fought in like 2 years. I had
Yeah,
5 fights as a professional. Hadn't fought in 2 years, and they were like, "Go have a fight, come to the UFC." I'm like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
I had a fight, and then after I had a fight, they were like, "Oh, right now, like we can't sign anyone right now. Go ahead and have another fight." I'm like, "All right, cool." I went and had another fight, and like my 2 fights that I had these like viral submissions. I didn't even think they were that cool.
The
Was it the
Twister one?
Twister?
I've seen that.
Yeah, far
Bro.
out. That Twister.
If
The
for
guy
anyone
was
that
going
doesn't
mental.
know-
What was
for-
funny is
for
the
anyone that doesn't know, it's like
Yeah.
basically twisting the fuck out of your head.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, like your whole body, like your head's here.
Yeah, he
The
had
guy's
his
neck
leg-
was literally.
yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna
that's a
break his
cool
neck.
one. The first one I did was the TP, and like I was like the first person to do it in professional MMA, and everyone
Yeah.
made a big deal about it. I didn't even think it was that cool. I was like, all right.
What's the TP? That's
It's like a
That's-
triangle choke with they've
But
got
with
like their
your-
legs wrapped around your arm and legs, but yeah, you're like
Your hand
you're
is
pretty
like-
much trying to pop the person's head off.
oh, well,
It's cool. I've got
Is
it
it
on-
like your 2 legs, like
yeah, crossed
That-
over.
that
and, like,
sounds-
cutting the
that
arteries
sounds
down the
hard.
neck.
yeah.
But
that.
I got that, and then I had my next fight a month later where I did the twister, and then I said, all right, like. I wasn't super interested in even going to the UFC. I had so much other shit going on. They were like, "All right, we want to sign you," and I'm like, "Okay, no worries. I'll wait for you guys to sign me." And then they sent me a message for the Ultimate Fighter. They said, "We're doing an undefeated season. We want you to try out." And I emailed them back and I said, "Try out. Like you guys are wanting to sign me for the UFC. I don't
Yeah.
really want to go to like Vegas and go to a tryout where I might not make it.
Yeah, true.
You know, like I'm not gonna waste my time, mate. Like and go and do that. They're like, "Oh, just come to the trial. I think, like you'll be fine."
yeah, okay, yeah.
So then I'm like, all right. So I got my manager to speak to them, and then my manager was like, "Listen, just shut up and go to Vegas."
just go.
go,
All right,
go.
just do it.
All right. He's like, "Just go to Vegas, and we'll get you. Like you're gonna get signed. Like you're gonna go to the Ultimate Fighter." And I thought, fuck, that's crazy. Yeah.
That's
like,
an opportunity,
That
no
was
worries.
one of those things that I thought it's not gonna happen. I watched this since I was a kid.
Yeah, you watch
Oh,
it and then you're on it. It's like,
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm not
Crazy
gonna,
world, man.
I'm not gonna get picked out of all those fighters, like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those other guys. Like, why should I get? I was thinking like that, but that was a big wake up call and reality check to me to like take opportunities. You know, like never say that you can't do something because that was one of the situations that I didn't believe that I could do it.
Yeah.
And everyone around me was saying like, go, go, go. So then when I got told that I was pretty much a shoo-in to get in onto the show, I thought I'm going to ride the fuck out of this.
yeah.
And I told them, nah, I'm not going to go to Vegas unless my teammate can come and he gets through the whole process as well.
Wow.
And they go, what do you mean by the whole I'm like, he doesn't have to be on the show. I'm like, but I want you guys, like, you want me to stay in Vegas for a week so you can do all these tests, do all these interviews. I'm not going to do it alone. They go, all right, bring your teammate.
Bring your
We'll,
teammate.
like, show us your teammate. I showed him. They're like, all right, bring him along. And we'll put him through. And that was Alex. Like, he's my best mate. So
Yeah, yeah.
I took Alex with me. And
he would have been so happy.
he
like,
was. He was
fuck.
like, fuck,
Cheering,
this is
bro.
crazy.
Fucking
Like,
Vegas
and he
and
was
everything.
younger,
Vegas,
than,
meeting
he was
all these
younger
guys.
than me as well. You know,
Wow.
so
Wow.
for him it was like a mass. He would have been like 22 or 23 at the time.
Wow.
Wow.
It was huge, and he coming around, going into the room, seeing Dana White, seeing this guy, and like
crazy.
because I'd already met the matchmakers, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, and these guys. When I walked into the room, a lot of other fighters that had never met them were like kind of standing off. The matchmakers would come up, oh hey Suman, how are you?
Yeah.
Start talking to me, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Why
Fuck's
is
this guy?
What's this guy from Australia? You know, and then like Alex was like, yeah, I'm with him. I'm with him.
I know these
You know,
guys.
but Alex got through the process as well. We spent a week in Vegas, and at the end of it, like they made their picks, and they gave me a camera. And they were like, take this camera home, and I'm like, why do I have to take this camera home? And they're like, we want you to record the next like 2 weeks of your life. And we're
okay.
gonna we're gonna fly you back to Vegas, and then we're gonna start the show with you. I'm like, fuck yeah,
Nice.
hectic.
Wow.
So,
But wait, why do they want you to record your life for 2 weeks? Is that
because they're
like
like the
intro.
promo,
They put like the
stuff.
promo. Okay, right,
Like,
yeah,
take
yeah.
this camera with you, record your shit, bring it back to us. So I literally went from Vegas.
back to the area?
No.
Okay.
I flew to Thailand.
Oh, all right, Thailand.
I
Yeah,
went to Thailand, and
Yeah.
trust me, some of the shit that was on that camera.
Oh, you don't
Right?
want to see it.
They could have put it.
Like, I wish they would show it. Like,
Yeah.
They probably
but-
can't.
Yeah, they couldn't.
Live
Like,
TV.
we were with like 10 boys, and like I didn't realize this, but I wanted to have fun with the camera and like show all this shit off.
Yeah.
And then I realized the camera was set up in a way where you can't delete anything.
No. No, that's never a good thing.
Yeah, never a
That's
good
never
thing.
a good
So
thing.
we went to Thailand, and one night we all went to this fucking reggae bar, got all these
Yeah.
mushroom shakes, got all mushrooms,
Oh,
went,
no. Yeah,
went
yeah.
around town. I'm meant to be getting ready for like the fights of my life
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
this shit, but I wanted to enjoy myself before I go away and get locked up for 8 weeks. So we had fun in Thailand. A lot of shit got recorded on those cameras. They're like,
And you could've
all,
deleted
all the producers came back to me and they're like, "Can I tell you, out of everyone who bought back their cameras, your one was easily the most entertaining. But
Oh, okay. Most entertaining.
But we
That was
can't,
good.
we can't use all of that shit." I'm like, "Yeah, you can use a bit of it." And they're like, "I don't think you want us to use this shit." So yeah,
It's the stuff you don't remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like there were some things like I was going through the camera and I was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna delete this, and then I'm like, all right, why can't I delete it?"
Why can't I delete it?
I'm like, "Oh fuck, here we go."
Shit.
And then by the end of it, I'm like, "Oh fuck it."
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Let them, you know, that's it.
But yeah, and then so I came back to the area I went to Thailand for a week and a half.
Yeah.
Came back to the area for like a week and a half. I had to get some more medicals and stuff done here.
Yeah.
And then I flew off to Vegas and spent
And it
8
was-
weeks there. Fucking no social media, no contact with home, no. You can't see anyone from the outside world. The
It's
only
like Big Brother.
It
It's
is
like
Big Brother.
It
Like,
is Big Brother, basically.
It fucking sucks because you're in a like I had a
You're in there with a bunch of guys as well. Like this.
You're eating, sleeping with this cunt that you don't even know.
American sense of humor is
Yeah.
so fucking different as well.
It
Is
is.
it?
It is so
The
different.
way
Like,
they laugh and stuff.
The way they laugh, even the jokes that they make, like some jokes that I would make were like too much for them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Man, what are you saying, man?
You don't make gay jokes in front of American people.
Oh,
like
are they
never.
snowflakes?
Like
Yeah.
so bad. Like,
oh, right, okay.
Fuck, man.
they just take offense to everything that you like. It legit is like that.
Right,
American sense
wow.
of humor is so different to ours, and like for a long time, like guys, they don't get banter over there. You know what I
So
mean?
you can't really like fuck around and like, you know how you do with your mates, like you just
Yeah,
roast them and shit.
It's
I
not
feel like
like
the
that.
UK is probably most similar to us. UK.
Yeah,
is probably-
UK are
they have-
similar. Like
Yeah.
the UK guys, there was a few of the American guys I got along with in the house, but like some of them just like really had like this jock mentality, and they were just
Yeah.
they were dicks. I'm like, bro, enjoy yourself. I'm like,
Just
we're in a
enjoy.
fucking mansion right now,
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
everything we want.
Yeah.
You know, like enjoy the process. You know, and I'll tell you. It wasn't the serious ones even that won the show. It was like the kickback
The
ones.
kickback ones, yeah, yeah,
ended
the
up
ones that
winning
were
the
fucking
show.
around.
Yeah, not even fucking around, but like the ones that like
Having a laugh. you know?
having a laugh, enjoying their time, enjoying everything.
have to
that
enjoy
they're
the
doing.
moment as well, like-
bro. I woke up like
It's surreal.
The first day, I looked outside and I was like, where the fuck am I? Like,
Yeah.
I'm in Vegas and I'm in this fucking house.
Fucking hell.
And you got cameras. How do the cameras work? Are they just always camera crew everywhere?
No, so there's two main camera crews.
Yeah.
Like three, I would say, and they would be recording all day, but like you could go to your room and there would be a moment where you'd like packing your clothes away and the camera wouldn't be on you. But like as soon, because we have to have microphones on all the time.
Oh, so they can hear,
If
yeah.
we don't have microphones on, they threaten to fine us. So we get paid to be on the show.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, they
fuck,
pay
8
us.
weeks.
They pay us daily
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
on the show.
Wow.
So it's mad. Like at the end of it, you come back and you get paid in US dollars. You're like, fuck, all right,
That's
this is
alright.
pretty
Fuck, it was
sick.
worth it.
Yeah. But they're like, listen, if you don't have your mics on, we're gonna fine you because that's part of your contract. I'm like, all right, sweet.
So
it's-
24/7, your mic's on.
No, so we take it off when we're asleep and we put it next to our bed. Like there's like a little hanger thing next to our
You
bed.
put that on that. Oh,
We
okay.
put that on that, and then while we're sleeping, some guy sneaks into the room and changes your microphone. Like changes the batteries every night.
Ah.
And then you go back to sleep. I remember one night I woke up, it was like 4 a.m. and you're trying to get your sleep in there.
Yeah,
know?
you need
And-
your 8 hours and
Yeah,
stuff.
and we're not allowed to have doors on the rooms. So the room.
What do you mean? Oh, so the doors have to.
The doors.
There's no doors. Oh, okay.
The
There's no doors.
So and all the living room areas, the kitchen, everything, the lights are always on. So our room was dark, but there's fucking no door. So there's like light that's coming in. So you're easily woken up. It's a bit annoying.
Yeah.
And I'm
that
lying
light
down,
and
and
stuff.
one day it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and this fucking camera guy like walks in, and he just like got the camera on me, and like
Yeah.
I thought that like I woke up kind of, and like I seen him, and I was like, I'm just gonna pretend I'm sleeping, and he'll like fuck off again, and then he just
4 a.m.?
he just like waited there and like just kept recording me for like 10 minutes,
What?
and I'm thinking to myself, there's nothing to fucking record. And I
You're
was-
sleeping. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
I looked at him. I'm like, are you fucking right? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, he looks at me. He goes,
What?
I'm like,
What the?
this is fucked. I just put the blankets over my head. Like, you're not allowed
That's
to talk
crazy,
to camera
man.
crew.
Fuck,
You're not allowed
man.
to talk to. You don't know why they're
But
recording.
why was he
sometimes.
recording you sleeping? Maybe it's part
Anything
of the
could
shot.
happen.
It
Yeah,
is like
anything could
for
happen,
them, it's all material. It's all material that they can.
You just can't question it.
Yeah, you
What if you're
can't
taking a
question it.
piss?
Nah, they don't record you taking a piss. But like, it's weird. You come out of the shower and they're like right there.
Oh, for fuck's
They don't
sake.
follow you into the shower, but like.
But like they wait
Oh,
for you
right
to like
there.
dress up.
I've seen
and stuff.
some fucked up pranks on that show as well. Like some of the fighters, they
I told everyone the fucking first
Did
day
they
in.
piss in your drink or something?
No.
There has been
I said
the-
to everyone, I'm cool with everyone. Like
Yeah.
I'm super nice. Like with everyone. Like especially if we're living in a house together. Like I don't give a fuck. Even if we're gonna fight, like I don't need to hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come in, punch on.
Part of the sport.
The guy that I ended up fighting in the house was one of my best friends in the house.
Wow.
You know, and
There
it
you
was
go.
the most awkward because like legit the morning of our fight we're having breakfast together. You know,
wow.
but it is what it is. It's
Something
a
you have to do.
sport, you know. But I said to everyone the first day we went in, I'm like, listen, I'm like, I don't want no problems with anyone. You guys say anything, fuck around with me. I don't care. I'm gonna enjoy my
easy.
time here. But if anyone fucks with my food or anyone fucking pisses in my bed or something, like I will get kicked
That's
off
the
the
that's
show.
where you draw the line.
Yeah, like
100%. Yeah.
someone could be like, fuck you, fucking cunt, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no worries.
You know, cool. Say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Even act
Words
like,
can never hurt me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even act like a sick cunt.
Yeah.
Doesn't really affect me. Yeah, but as soon as you fucking
You fuck
start,
with my food?
yeah, you
you
fuck with my
fucking-
food. You fucking,
Don't fuck with
It's
my
like
food.
something in the area. You
Yeah.
don't fuck
that
with.
was one
But the
thing.
food was good, wasn't it? You were saying
Food
like
was
you can
crap,
get
though.
everything
Like
you
every
want.
day we'd have a list and you
Right.
write down on the list what you want, and you
Wow.
can order anything you want.
You
And
can't
some-
get kebabs, but
Nah, you know what?
Can't get a
I never
HSP.
thought of that.
You can't get a
I never-
HSP or
Yeah,
something.
no, but you. There was so when when my fight was over and they realized that I couldn't like train or do anything anymore.
yeah.
They were like, "Oh, is there anything like?" The producers loved me too.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, is there anything?" Because we weren't allowed like McDonald's. Those are the things we weren't allowed.
Oh, like fried
McDonald's,
food and shit.
like we were, and not because of anything, because of the logos.
Oh,
Well, like,
so it
copyright-
wasn't for like being healthy or something.
No, no, no.
They don't give a
Nah,
fuck.
they don't give a
But they
fuck.
give us alcohol.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the,
So
the
they
house
don't
is
care.
packed with alcohol.
If anything, they want you to drink,
Yeah,
so
they
you
want
can
It's for the
drink.
show. Yeah. It's
They-
whatever.
Entertainment.
I'll tell you, they want you to miss weight even. They don't even
Yeah,
want you
yeah,
to
yeah.
fight. They want drama.
It's
they
more
want you to
anything they want.
panic making weight.
They want fights as well.
Yeah.
Not in the
and,
ring.
Yeah, and there was fights in our house, and a lot of them didn't get shown on camera. I don't
okay.
know why, but some didn't. And
Wow.
yeah, when the producers got kind of good with me, they would they'd be like, "Oh, is there anything you'd want?" And like I'd go to do my medicals, and when you do your medicals, they'll take a camera crew with you, but they're not recording you the whole time.
Oh, so that's when you leave the house.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That was the time when I
Wow.
left the house, and on the way back, like the driver was a friend of mine.
Yeah,
His name
yeah,
was
yeah.
Jeremy. I'll probably get in trouble for saying this.
Oh shit.
But yeah, on the way back,
Yeah.
Jeremy was like, "Oh man, I'm pretty fucking hungry." I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And he's like, "Want to go to In-N-Out?" I'm like,
Fucking
yeah.
beautiful.
He took me to In-N-Out. We just like
Nice.
spent an hour at In-N-Out.
Fuck.
And then he was
Wow.
like
That's
eating
mad.
shit there.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Like the production team, everyone was cool there. It was good to be like a part of something that I'd watched for so long, but the cameras and
100%.
everything threw me off completely. Fucking.
It's hard because it's like, as you said, some people enjoy the spotlight. Some people enjoy being in front of the camera all day.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, man, like sometimes you just want alone time. You just
Yeah.
want to like be yourself and just, well, I don't know about be yourself, but you just want to sit there and just like, I don't know,
You want to seclude yourself. Like
Seclude
Like,
yourself.
You don't want to be restricted to even what you say.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like at the same time, like
it's still TV. Like you can't just go off the radar and say
Look,
anything you want.
everyone will say this. They'll be like, "Nah, you got to be 100% who you are, and you got to say exactly how you feel. Don't be a fake cunt. Don't be
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fake
yeah.
cunt. All this. All right. Well, if we're not, I'm telling you now, I'll get kicked off TV.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like,
That's right.
You're
It's-
like, there won't be a podcast. This podcast will probably get like cut off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're so restricted now that we have to be mindful and watchful of what we say. And even in that house, like that was the hard thing. As much as you wanted to be yourself, and I felt like I was myself. Like sometimes you're still restricted because you have a job or you have like people that are looking up to you or around you.
You got some stuff on the line, basically.
Yeah, there's
all.
as soon as there's a camera on you, there's something on the line because people are gonna make something out of it. I say the wrong thing about like gender equality and like the world might turn upside down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it's like people are waiting for that, just for that mistake. Like we've
Yeah.
we've
And
talked
even
about
if you
this
look
so
like
much.
look at like Jared Hayne, for example.
Yeah, you got like
That's
Jared Hayne,
another
who
crazy
that's
thing.
another topic in itself. With men, I don't even know if the guy's actually. I don't know, man.
I've
People
got-
have
I've
their different opinions.
I've got my opinion on that.
Yeah.
People might not like it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I personally don't like Jared Hayne. I don't know him personally, like as a friend, but I've had interactions with him as like a person. I've been out to clubs with him, and I've seen how he treats people. And like honestly, in my opinion, other people that are friends with him might say differently, but every interaction I've had with him, he was a piece of shit.
Okay.
Like he was just an arrogant cunt.
Yeah, because of what you've seen and what
Because of
he's
what
said
I've
and
seen,
stuff,
just
yeah.
because he
Gives
thinks
off
it's
that
all that.
vibe.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does give
Yeah.
give that. And that whole situation that he just had, like he just got 3.5 years. I actually feel bad for him in the situation because I don't think he was convicted for what he actually did. I think calling him a rapist and calling him things like that is a bit far. I don't know. So this is just my opinion. But I've heard the same way I've heard stories about Jared and I've seen him. I've heard stories about the other girl as well.
Okay.
And
Yep.
just my opinion, if it was like a legitimate rape case, people would have alerted the police before they alerted the NRL.
100%.
They would have alerted the police or a counsellor even, or someone that they could speak to in a proper position other than the Daily Telegraph.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because they're waiting. The media is
and
just
it's not
waiting.
only that. We've also seen like the messages that have actually been released into the media and have been released in the news, and a lot of the messages were kind of giving me that vibe where she was actually, well, obviously she chased him first.
Yeah.
And she was the one that was telling him, oh, you know, when are you back in Sydney? When are this and that? And obviously the guy is like, in the end of the day, he's a bloke.
Yeah.
Blokes are going to be blokes, you know,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and he was
She's-
in the area.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
And she's not-
He might have fucking went a bit too hard, but it's like,
Look,
you know
here's
what
the
I
thing. It's a very common thing, right, in Australia, Sydney, Melbourne, wherever you're from, that like, especially through the age of social media, people are talking to girls, this and that, sending this or trying to meet up with people.
You got to be
And
careful.
you got to be fucking
You got to be
careful.
very careful.
That's one of the dumbest things that like Jared could have done is
100%.
not to just be a little bit more
100%.
careful. And by seeing it all, you can see he is a grub, and what he did, like he fucking bit the girl's vagina.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Like it's just.
Yeah, how
like,
can you recover from that?
You're just
How
a
can you
dirty
recover
cunt.
from that? Exactly,
You're just a
there you
dirty
go.
cunt. If you bit that
Just
hard,
act
that you
of
gotta fucking like make her bleed. Like
Yeah. Then
you're
you're
just
just
a
a
like
fucking-
weird
you're
cunt.
low life.
I said he's a dumb cunt. Like it's pretty stupid.
Yeah, because we
You're on
actually had a
that
chat about it, and I was telling him, like, I don't know if you've done that and stuff, and Moses is like, you're like, he's
Look,
a dumb
she's
cunt
not
regardless.
as innocent as they're saying, but at the end of the day, he's a dumb cunt for
Yeah.
like going
Whether
that
it's
low.
a publicity stunt
And
or
you
not.
know you're in the spotlight. You know, and he's even had previous like in
Man, the
America.
guy's been to America. The guy,
He's had a situation in America.
he's
with
had a
another
situation in America, so you haven't got a
So,
clean
like,
name. So he's fucked up
he's
more than
pretty
once.
dumb
You know
for,
what,
like-
you know what the thing is, but and this is what I have like issue with, and I know that people on this will say, "Oh no, it's a sickness, it's in people," but like, bro, like Jared can get so many girls. Why would you have
100%.
to rape someone?
100%.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like-
that's how I think about it as well sometimes.
Yeah, but then they say it's the sense of entitlement, and that's what
Yeah.
comes with fame.
Probably.
You know,
Like,
it's what comes
I
with
can
fame.
do whatever I want.
I'm
and
a
you
footy
can't say
player.
anything.
I'm
Pretty
this.
much.
I'm that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that like I was so happy about. Like I never broke into being in a famous spotlight. I had an opportunity to, but I never did. And one of the things that I'm most grateful for out of not doing it, even though as much as I would have wanted to win and be so successful in the UFC,
Was the fame part of it? Yeah,
is
you were saying that,
like
yeah.
after being on the Ultimate Fighter and seeing how like these friends of mine lives change from fame, it's not always in a good way.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, it's not. It's like like I said, there's certain things people don't want to say on podcasts because they're scared of how the public is gonna view them. If you're in an actual like spot of fame, don't worry about how people are gonna view you. They're just gonna make stories up about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's so many bullshit stories up about people that are made, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I know that that's not true. But it's like I would hate to be in that position for that reason. Like
Because
that's
people
the one
just
thing
assume.
I'm so thankful about not being famous. Is exactly that. Like I don't know how I would do with that, and like I like my privacy. I was a person who was a mad like extrovert. Like I always wanted to be out in public with people, and then as you grow up and you see more and more of the world, you start to become more of an introvert.
100%.
You want to stick to yourself a little bit more, and I've been like that a lot for the past like 2 or 3 years. Like
I think a big part of it as well. Like let's say you were young in the UFC, okay, and let's say things would have turned out different. Let's say you won that first fight. Then you kept going, and then you got all this fame. Being a young kid, man, all this money, all this fame, you're gonna go off the rails, man. Like it's so hard to stay disciplined.
I didn't even get famous, and I've gone off the rails so many times. You know what I mean? You get carried away.
You
like,
get carried away.
You do
like,
get carried away. And
know,
like it does get to your head. Like
you're a star.
Let's talk about the UFN.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the UFN.
UFN.
So you got this. All right. So now you got this big promotion in Australia, and I got to say, man, we've seen some of the knockouts recently. Fuck. That's all I gotta say.
That's pretty crazy.
They've honestly, like, and you guys are fairly new. Like,
Yeah.
how long has the UFN been around?
People think that we been around like maybe since 2014, 15.
Yeah.
But we're really starting to blow up now.
Yeah.
We're starting to get the mold of the show right.
Sure.
And like obviously learning. Same way with the gym.
Yeah.
I started up a gym with no experience. Started doing shows.
Yeah,
no
you just
experience
do it,
as
man.
Like,
It's just how
you're
it
like,
is.
Fuck it. You know, you're
There's
gonna
no
take an
rule book.
opportunity. Yeah, there's no rule
There's
book.
no rule book.
That's how
You
we
know?
started the podcast. Like,
Yeah,
even though
literally.
fuck all about podcasts.
Yeah,
We just done
gotta
it.
learn how to fucking which microphones to get.
Yeah.
You do a little bit of research
We just
and
went and
do
bought the
it.
stuff
Yeah.
and just done it, bro. Like, there's no thinking.
Yeah, UFN started out real small. Our first show was in Parramatta.
Oh, wow.
It was at the Park Royal and just near Church Street.
Yeah.
And it was only allowed a capacity of 250 people.
Oh, wow.
We had our show there. Then we moved to Granville,
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
to the Grand Royal.
Yeah.
Wedding
Grand
venue,
Yeah.
you know? Wedding
Yeah.
venue. So, like, we were really in, like, the area.
Yeah.
And then from there, we moved to Liverpool. We went to
okay,
the
so you've been
Whitlam
all
Centre. And
Whitlam Centre. Oh,
yeah,
the
the
swimming.
I know.
yeah. So where the basketball courts are,
Yeah,
we had
yeah,
the
yeah.
retractable
Know the
seats
Whitlam
and stuff,
Centre.
and we had some of our biggest shows there. We had one show there.
Wow.
I think it was UFN 9 or 10. We had like a Battle of the Nations.
Yeah.
And we'd sold 1,600 tickets
Wow.
to
That's-
that one. So
that's a
that was
lot.
pretty cool. Like that's a lot for like
That's
a
a lot
local
for like
show,
local UFN.
you
You
know?
know what I
And
mean?
then we've always tried to like step it up and make it bigger and bigger. We moved to Hurstville, which is a real good venue.
Yeah.
But eventually we wanna take the area outside of the area.
That's
you know?
that's
Exactly.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, like our show's called Urban Fight Night. It's as area as you can get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but it's like you're trying to put it out there on the map because you don't want just people in the area watching it. You don't want just people.
I
in
want
the area.
everyone watching. I want
You know what I'm
I want the world to watch
You
it.
want the world to
Yeah, I
watch
want the world to watch it, and that's like my goal. So we went to Luna Park.
Yeah.
Obviously an iconic place in like Australia, and we had our last 3 shows there. Had them all sold out, and it was real good. Luna Park now are going through like a lot of inquests and stuff like that because
Right.
some person got murdered there like in 1950s or some shit.
What?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, so
Fucking
like, apparently it was some insurance scam.
In 1950s.
Yeah, or 1950s or 60s.
Yeah.
Luna Park was run by some big gangsters. There was some big
Far out.
insurance scam.
Yeah.
And it's being, if you look it up right now on Google, it's like,
up now.
It's up now. Like, there's this big thing, and a ride was set on fire. And people died on the ride. So now the inquest is coming back in, and
Were
they
you
don't.
there a bit early?
Huh? Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So now, like I think they're worried about their public image, so they don't want to mix in with too many shows and stuff like that. Because
Oh.
they're starting to open back up to the public now.
Yeah.
So they got their own shit going on.
So the
And
timing's a bit-
they were like, oh, we don't want to have a show here for the rest of 2021. So we're like, oh, we got to find somewhere else. We're moving back to Hurstville for July 2nd.
July
For our
2nd.
show, and then after that we're doing August 22nd or 29th at the Quay Centre in Homebush, so where
Nice.
they held the
Yeah,
Olympics
yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Fuck.
So we're trying to create a premier show.
I feel like it's getting bigger.
It is.
It's
Because there's
getting
more
bigger and
fans
bigger.
getting into it. There's
Yeah.
more people getting into the UFC.
Yeah,
There's more
100%.
people getting into the UFC. They want to see what's happening locally. And we're building it from there. Bro, we've got so much talent, so many good fighters in
I've
Australia.
seen, man. I've seen.
Like you see some of those knockouts, you're like, if you watch it and if the logos were any different and if the production was a little bit different, you would think it's in the UFC or something. Because
Yeah.
some of
No,
these
100%.
guys, like honestly, they put on such a great show from amateurs to pros that like it's unbelievable. The talent is just getting up and up. 10 years ago or 9 years ago when I started, the talent is nowhere near what it is now. I'm so happy I got into it before because what it is
Bro,
now.
the guys
these
now,
guys,
man, they're fucking
beasts.
savages.
They're
They're
beasts.
machines.
Even in the UFC, like we have like Robert Whittaker, Volkanovski,
Yeah. We've
Megan
got a lot
Anderson,
of Australian
like,
guys that are
even
on the map. You know what I mean?
Suman, Nadia, all these like people like from Australia representing, you know.
Yeah.
And I love
Only
seeing
difference
it.
with
Man, I
them
love
and
seeing it.
us is we lost.
Nah, it's
But
fine, man.
I openly say it like I say it before, like even anyone says they're like, oh, so what do you think, went wrong with your fight? And I go, simple. I go, I wasn't made to win that moment. But history is
You
written
win some,
to
you
me.
lose some. It's just
Hi-
part of life.
To me,
It's
to
life.
me, history is written. You can do your best to try and change it. But that's where my path was.
Whatever's
meant to go.
written for you is written for you,
Yeah,
man. And that's
so-
that's
It happened, and like, but it's so good to see like guys like Rob Whittaker, Alex Volkanovski, and the guys that are like really flying the flag for us are bringing more attention to the sport. So like, if it's not me, I'm happy that one of them can kind of do it because
100%.
them growing the sport helps everyone. Helps UFN as well.
and that's what you want.
It's
man.
not only about winning as well. It's like making it there. You're an inspiration to younger people. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy's from the area or from around where I live.
Just
he can
fighting
make
on
it,
that big
I can make
stage,
it,
fighting on that big stage, going through the Ultimate Fighter, doing all that stuff, man. That's one of the biggest achievements, man. And like I think someone like you should be a prime example for people, that are trying to make it into the UFC. And like
I say it to
you
everyone.
see a lot of them.
I get so many different excuses from people like, oh, they'll come in, they go, oh, I can't make it to the UFC. I'm like, oh, why can't you? Oh, I'm too old. I'm like, how old are you? And they're like, oh, I'm 24 and I've never done it. I'm like, bro, my brother didn't start training till he was 25. Didn't have his first fight till he was 28.
Wow.
There you
know
go.
what I mean?
There you go.
Like,
crazy.
You can't put a time limit on it. Same thing as me. Like, we got kids that now come in at 12, 13 years old, 10 years old, and they start their
Early
training.
start, yeah.
Like early start. But just because they start earlier doesn't mean that you can't do it. It takes a couple years of like good, hard, long dedication, and like anyone can do it. Like, prime example, kid that grew up in fucking Dundas, moved around, had all this trouble in his life.
Basically
got his-
everything against you.
Yeah, got everything against. No, I don't like to say everything against me because there's people
But
that
like-
out there with worse.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Like I didn't have anything more than
odds,
what.
yeah,
I didn't have anything more than what you guys have or what the next
There you
person
go,
has,
yeah,
and I
100%.
tried. And being such a fan of the sport and being so in love with the sport, I made it there. So
100%.
if someone else has that same drive, has the same dedication, put some good people around them, they can do the same thing and they can be the next Robert Whittaker.
100%, yeah.
A lot of my guys are like young boys in my gym will be like, oh, bro, I want to be like you one day and I want to make it to the UFC. And I'm like, don't say that. And they're like, oh, why not? And I'm like, don't say that you want to be like me. I'm like, say that you want to be like yourself and say that you want to go further than what I want to. You guys are being respectful right now by saying, I want to be like you. Don't be respectful. Be sure of yourself and say, I'm going to get to the UFC and I'm going to do what my coach didn't. I'm going to learn from his mistakes and I'm going to actually win in the UFC. I'm going to get a title. I've got a few guys in my gym now that like, I genuinely think that with the next few years of training, they can make it to the UFC, and not just make it to the UFC, they could be stars in the UFC. And when I speak to them about it, and I say to them, don't be so shy to turn around and say that you want more than what I got. Like don't think that what I achieved is the pinnacle
The
of
benchmark,
everything.
yeah.
Don't think just because you're from the area, I'm from the area, I've set the benchmark. No, well, I've set something for you to go beyond. Like there's no, I don't want anyone to achieve what I've achieved. I want people to achieve more than what I've achieved.
And that just shows your like humbleness. Basically, you looking at it as if like you're not sitting there and say, "Oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that," and you're not bragging about it. But what you did was actually amazing, and you're trying to shy away from it, but it's amazing. Like, and just to hear you say that you're telling the people that are obviously coming up and people that are training under you that you want them to be better than you. I think that's an amazing thing that you can say that. You can actually sit there and say that and say, no, I want you to be better than me, because not a lot of people say that.
Australia's got this problem with tall poppy syndrome. You know,
That's
where,
true.
Where
That's
they want you to be good, they want you to do
But
great
never better
things,
than
but
them.
never better than
But
them.
never better
you
than
know?
them.
Exactly.
It's not like that for me, because if I can train someone to be better than me, then I've learned something. Like I've achieved something else in my life that other people haven't achieved. You know what I mean?
100%.
As my whole life isn't fighting. I've got coaching as well. You know, so as a coach, I need to have a resume. I need these guys to do better than me. You know, because like if you can do it for yourself, but you can't help the person next to you do the same thing, then you might have just fluked it. You know, I like to show people that it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't just a fluke.
Yeah, you have that mindset. You have the fighter mindset.
And it wasn't a fluke, because we've gotten 4 people from our gym in Western Sydney and from Wentworthville through to the UFC. Now, have we had a lot of success yet? No. But you got to remember, I went from not knowing a thing, opening up a gym with 0 experience, not knowing my head from my ass, to then 5 years later fighting in the UFC. It all happened really, really quickly, probably too quickly. But those are just things that we're going to learn from.
It's just a part of life.
Yeah,
it's just a part of
life. That was
your
my
journey.
story. That was my journey.
Journey.
That's exactly what I'm going to be able to turn around people. Like, if I can do that in 5 years.
And it's still not over, man.
No, it's not.
It's still not over.
I've got fights coming up.
Yeah.
That I want to have a fight this year.
There you go.
Corona's obvious. I had a
Corona stuffed it up.
I had a fight opportunity last year, but that was in like Japan, so it's hard for us to fly over to Japan right now because they got a quarantine there, and we got a quarantine here as well. It costs like $3,500 to quarantine here, and the money's not an issue from my part, but the promotions, they pay for that, so they don't want to pay an extra 10 grand just
There
to
you
have
go.
someone come and fly on their
100%.
show. So I want to fight again, and like I would never want to end my career on a loss, especially in the UFC. Right now, I fought in the UFC. The 2 guys that I fought, Sadiq Yusuf, who's in the top 15 in the UFC in my weight division, and Sung Woo Choi, who now is on the brink of the top 15 as well. So I've fought 2 like good competitors, and now I want to fight outside of the UFC as well. I want to go internationally as well, and I want to keep fighting these top guys. Win, lose or draw right now doesn't matter to me. It's about the experience that I gain from it, and because to make a career in MMA or to make a career in all this, it's hard without like the UFC and stuff like that. And honestly, I never even made the UFC for money.
Because it was just your love and passion for the fight, like literally for the art of fighting.
So literally now, I don't care about what money I'm being offered. I don't care about what belt I'm being offered or anything. It's about the opportunity right now for me to take.
Just fight on the big stage.
Yeah, and I do it in the gym all the time. I'm punching on.
Obviously, sparring is different. Sparring's
it is. But
fucking
like, why am I taking these beatings in training if I'm not willing to go and put it out there? That's why I really started the sport, because I like to watch it so much.
Yeah.
And I say this to every fucking person that comes to me, and they're like, "Oh, fucking, I love it. I'm like, "Oh, why don't you do it?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm too lazy." Or I'm this or I'm that. I'm like, nah, okay, if you're really a fan of the sport, you would want to try it.
Well, maybe they don't have balls of steel, bro. Like, cause you need fucking balls of steel to step in an octagon.
You don't.
I think you do, man.
Can I tell you something? I think that the best fighters are the scared ones, and they're the ones.
Come on.
No, they're the geeks. They're the geeks.
Yeah, like so. No, I think I agree, because Cerrone, for example, he goes, he shivers sometimes before a fight.
Yeah, but
he's very
what
scared.
makes what makes you put yourself on the line in the first place? You need balls of steel to just get over that. Like literally just to step in the octagon itself.
I've got fighters. Like it would be crazy for you guys to come backstage and see it. I've got fighters that you would think they're the most confident people, but the moment they're about to walk out, they're sitting there and they're shitting it. I've got fighters that come up to me and they go, "Listen, I don't know how I'm gonna go tonight. If I get knocked out, I'll promise I just tried my best." These professional fighters that are saying this to me. They shit themselves.
And you think they're the most confident cunts.
But the moment they make their walk, their face changes. Their music hits and they know that they've got a job to go
Flight
and do
time,
that.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fight or flight. You know, it's fight or flight.
Fight or
And
flight.
most times, you know, those guys are saying, oh, fuck it, I'm here now, got to do it.
What
And
is
sometimes
it?
that pressure is enough to get them over the line, you know.
Yeah.
The best fighters that I've had, the most coachable fighters, are the ones that are like kind of pussies. You know,
Right.
because they listen
Okay.
to every word that you say because they don't believe in themselves that much, right? So what do? They listen to their
listen to the
coach.
coach.
And usually people that listen to someone from the outside do a lot better because when you're in it, if you're just listening to yourself, you don't make the right choice all the time because you're fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not so much a fight; it's a battle. It's a back and forth battle that you have to be tactical about and trying to win.
Yeah, sometimes it's very technical, the fight.
That's
so
why
yeah.
I like having a geeky guy that isn't a hard cunt. He just wants to come in and do what he's told. All right, I'm gonna jab, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna keep my feet moving, I'm gonna duck down. When he starts throwing too many punches, I'm gonna take him down. I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna hold him down. I'm gonna win it properly. You know, I'm gonna be smarter than I'm gonna be tougher. Yeah, being a tough guy sometimes doesn't work out, especially in our sport. I said it to the guys tonight at training. You can be so tough for so long. I go, but there's only two ways that's going to end up. Yeah. The toughest always end up somehow getting their tail put between their legs or they end up on their back knocked
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like
100%.
being tough in this sport isn't the number one thing that we need. Being smart and having a brain is so, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man, how they sort of just get over that. Like, because even when you're in a fight, right? You're in a fight and you're fighting. Like when you're hearing your coach, are you actually comprehending what they're saying? Because you're so built up, all this adrenaline, and it's like, throw a jab, throw a hook. Are you actually listening and being like, all right, now we've got to throw a jab, throw a hook? You know what I mean? Like, is it?
Depends. To be honest with you, with like all my previous fights, I've actually been really good at listening to my corner.
Oh, it's
Listening-
something you build up.
Yeah, it's something you build up and you get better at. But when I got to the UFC, it wasn't like that. You know, like I kind of froze in the moment and I didn't listen to my coaches, like my brother Alex and the boys and that were cornering me, and because you have so much to think about. You know?
Yeah, you're just being there. It's like-
Some people adapt to it really well, and I think that I would have adapted to it better under those bright lights if I got more of an opportunity or better opportunities, I would say. But I didn't adapt to it well, and that's why the results showed. I believe that I didn't lose those fights because of myself. Oh, I did lose them because of myself, but I lost those fights more so because I didn't stick to the game plan. I didn't listen to my coaches, and I just when I got into the moment, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fight. I'm backing up. This guy's coming. I'm gonna fucking throw a right hand. Bang! I end up getting hit.
And then
that
it's
wasn't a part of the game plan.
No.
And then you got to try and
You
catch
gotta
up,
adapt.
catch up, and it's
Yeah.
so hard to catch up in a fight sometimes. But it's like it's an experience that I feel like everyone needs to do it once in their life.
You gotta
Even if it's
coach
only
me one
because
day. You gotta coach me one day.
I think everyone needs to realize that they're not made of glass. You know, we're all capable.
we all have some
Yeah.
potential. Yeah.
But I've got guys that you would not imagine it. You would go to this guy and you're like, bro, I'll fucking bash the fuck out of
But
this
turns
guy.
out he's the baddest fucking
Yeah.
guy.
It's always the case. Like
Yeah.
fucking.
Nah.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I think. Have you
You
got?
want to wrap it up?
You guys,
Yeah.
guys got anything else?
I want to wrap it up by saying, I highly respect what you and your brother Ash are doing, because you took what the opportunity he's had and he's created something more of it. It's not like you went to the UFC and that's it. I'm going to make a shit ton of money, whatever, and then fuck off. You made that money, or you took that opportunity and you branched out to the UFN, your own gym, and you have so much more than what that single
to give
opportunity gave.
opportunities for people like
And even
them that grew up
younger people
to go and
inspirational. Yeah.
and yeah. So I'll definitely be at the next event,
Thank
man.
you. Like I said, I never thought, I wanted to always make it to the UFC, but I never thought I would make it to the UFC. That's why it was so surreal for me when I did.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe the moment kind of got to me a little bit more. But all I can do now is take away what I've learned from the experience. And it sounds cliche. It sounds like bullshit because it sounds like something that everyone would say, I want to pass it back on to my students. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I wouldn't even say, I'm going to pass this on to my students. I want to pass it on to my mates. You know, I want to pass it on to all the people around me. And one day I know that when I die, there's gonna be like a video that they're gonna play at my funeral of my achievements and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I just want to have something on my video.
Leave
you
it
know?
behind.
I
Yeah.
wanna-
Well, what are you gonna leave behind?
Yeah,
basically?
what am I gonna leave behind in this world? So I'm trying to leave a better life choices for other people. You know, like I'm still normal. I'm still a kid from the West. I still hang out with some fuckwits.
Man, meeting you
but
was just
yeah.
like you're just a bloke from the area.
Yeah,
Honestly,
average
it's-
bloke.
And that's how I
It's
want to be.
just-
That's how,
and
I
that's how you
want
wanna
to
be. That's
you know?
right, that's
Because
right.
I see a lot of people. Like I'm not famous in any way, but I see people that they know me from the area
Yeah.
because they've seen me in the UFC, and like
Yeah.
it gets passed around the area. Oh, have you seen this guy? This
yeah,
and
yeah,
that.
definitely.
And I see so many people, and they like look at me at the corner of their eyes, and
And you
"Oh,
can
is
just
that
tell,
him?"
yeah.
Yeah, or like they want to come and speak to me, or something happens. But like I'm regular, like
Yeah.
come talk to me, do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm never a
Yeah.
dick to anyone, you know. Like I'm kick it.
Yeah.
I'm always in like around these areas. I'm
Yeah.
always fucking with the boys.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal person, but I'm a normal person who wants more from life. And
You want to make an impact. You want to
Yeah.
make an impact on obviously your community, and you want to make an impact where you grew up. And honestly, the way you're headed now, I can see it happening. I can
I
see
just want the area to do the same thing. Like
100%.
everyone around, I want them to be able, not just train at my gym, but I want them to all do better.
Yeah.
Because like I've been like in shit spots. I've helped a lot.
You
of
know what
people.
it's like.
Yeah, I know what it's
Yeah.
like, and I've been in spots where I've seen what it can do, not just for me, but for other people. And like if I can change one person's life, I can sleep better at night. You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean? That's all I want. I want to be able to just change someone's life and have someone turn around to me and say, I was inspired by something that you did. I went out and achieved more, but you were what started it
reason,
for
yeah.
me. You know, even if I didn't come and train with you, I saw you from
Sparked
this,
something,
but
yeah.
it sparked something. And like that honestly would make me feel so much better. Having that bit of achievement. Like that's more of an achievement to me than fighting in the UFC.
100%, bro. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you know, what have you impacted to society, and what changes have you made then?
Yeah. I feel like we got to get behind things like this, like UFN, for example. We should all be
100%.
supporting each other, like from
Yeah.
the area, and like, you know, get behind these events. Go to the event. You know, if you like the sport, you can start training as well, and you can make something out of it. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
100%.
And you never know until you put yourself.
Until you actually try it.
Yeah, everyone's gonna try.
That's it. I'm joining the UFC.
Let's
Let's go.
Thank you guys. Thank you
Nah.
very much for having me on.
Thanks
on
so
your
much
show
for
as
coming,
well.
bro.
Like I said, I haven't done podcasts in a few
You went
years.
great. This went so quick. Like I didn't even
Yeah.
feel the time.
Yeah,
I
I
love
haven't
this
done it
one,
in
yeah.
a few years because like I said, I wanted to stay out of the spotlight, but being
Man.
with you guys, like being in the area.
What better way to
Kicking
come
it.
back? You know what I
Kicking
mean?
it. Nah, thank
And
you.
yeah, we'll definitely do it again, man. Like I'm keen to do
Anytime.
it again, and I want to be at the next
We'll get
event.
some of the. What we'll do is we'll get some of the fighters from.
We'll get-
Urban
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
we'll
coming on.
get 'em on, man,
We'll get
honestly.
you guys coming urban.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
get
yeah.
you guys a table. Get you guys set
Have a
up
bit of
there.
a yeah,
100%,
yeah,
yeah.
crossover.
The Lebbie podcast can come and see what
Perfect.
Urban Fight Night is like.
That's
That's
it, bro.
right, man.
100%.
I'd love to, man. Thanks for coming on,
Nah,
Suman.
thank
Thanks,
you.
bro.
All right, boys. See yous. Take it easy.